Bitcoin is hard to do. You need these mining rigs, complicated maths, a lot of energy. It is the most robust, secure network in the world, which is Bitcoin, which is why it's amazing. Proof of stake is you've got tokens and you secure the network by promising it to the network and you get a yield. Keith, if you want to stay in ETH, you can generate yields now. So you've generated a long-term savings market in these things.
Bitcoin going to 1 million. So Rich is asking, like, Raoul, is that even possible? Like $1 million Bitcoin? And over what duration? How do you see something like that projected?
Okay, so let's go back to my framework, network adoption. That chart that I put on Twitter many times about the adoption suggests we go from 150 million users to 1 billion users by 2024.
Okay.
We'll be at $1 million in Bitcoin, no question.
So you just, man, that's not a stretch, you know?
No, it's not really. When you think it in those terms, if I said, oh, the Apple phone, you know, there's 150 million users, going to be 1 billion users. Is the Apple share price going to go up a lot? Yeah. Will it go up 10x from here? 20x? Yeah. I mean, it's not a big stretch. People just forget because they all get trapped in these narratives. It's money. It's this new thing. It's not based on anything. Just forget it. Are people using it and how many people?
Raoul, what do you think is probable that a central bank will quietly try and become the largest holder of BTC as a hedge against the failure of their policy?
I'm already seeing sovereign wealth funds in the space. They haven't made a big play because the space is not deep or liquid enough yet, but they're coming. And, you know, and it's the ones with the big dollar reserves, the Singapores, the Middle East, stuff like that. So it is coming. So are the central banks going to do it? Who knows? Not yet, but it will come. I think first, the next big thing is we're going to hear the story of sovereign wealth funds putting it as a long-term asset on their balance sheet, whether it's Norway, Abu Dhabi, Saudi, Singapore, and that'll usher in the next wave. And that then makes it unlikely that the central banks won't start doing it. Which central banks? Who the hell knows? But somebody like South Africa could really do with this because of the volatility of being part of the dollar cycle. It's a bit of a pain in the ass for them.
Yeah.
So something that they can have a small allocation to that maybe offsets the dollar cycle helps them. So some of these commodity countries, I think it actually makes sense for them. And they'd have to model it out and look at it in their portfolio and see what it does over the cycle for them. But it would help this boom bust emerging market cycle that keeps going on. So it's got network effects, provable network effects. The other one that's got provable network effects but is earlier is Avalanche, and the other one is Terra Luna. Those ones have provable network effects based around being an alternative to ETH. And I think that's fine. Now, there are many others that don't have provable network effects that are showing the price action that they do. Stuff like Cardano, where there's a bunch of owners of the asset, retail, but not enough activity on chain for me to really think, you know what, this is the next big thing.
Yeah.
It may be something that's more overpriced. I've not really done the work on looking at it that way, but I will do at some point if I can build out the full Metcalfes Law model on this. So here's what I did, and people were like, what the hell is he doing? So Dogecoin, right? This is the meme token that was set up as a joke and became massive. I looked at this and thought, okay, what we've created is a meme, a culture that people want to be part of. And nobody thinks that Doge is like the best asset in the world. They know it's a joke and they want to be part of that culture.
That's awesome.
So I'm like, okay, this is powerful because this is what your son will understand.
Flippening? Is that one of the, first of all, is that the right word?
Again, the flippening is a bad narrative. Again, it came out of the tribal warfare between Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah, right. So you flip out of Bitcoin into ETH.
And the flippening is when the market cap of ETH is larger than Bitcoin.
Okay.
Now, I think that's going to happen. Not because I think Ethereum is a superior asset, because they're two entirely different things.
Right.
One is a kind of this pristine collateral store of value asset. The other one is basically a technology platform that's the fastest growing on earth. Is that going to be worth more? Yeah. Now, there is an argument that Bitcoin ends up becoming the kind of monetary system for the entire world. Yeah, but I'm not sure I'll be alive when that happens. What I'm trying to make is make the best bet that I can do over the next few years. And that's what I think the flippening will happen. Does it happen in this cycle? I think it might get there. And then maybe that's when the bear market starts, when everyone's like, well, see, Ethereum's king, and then everything falls apart again. So, you know, as you know, people need to be very nervous of hubris. So we'll just wait and see how it plays out. It doesn't mean if your risk appetite is less,
right?
You can own Bitcoin and you'll do fine.
Right. Now,
I'm not saying Bitcoin's going down or anything else. It's just, I'd rather take more risk at this point in the cycle and be rewarded with higher returns.
Next horse, like who next to, you go Bitcoin, next
so
to
again,
and Bitcoin, who's the next that you think could be the
we
fastest
go back
one?
to the framework. So we avoid the speculation.
Right.
We go back to the framework. And what we're seeing is Solana has network effects. It's being used all over the place because it's cheaper and faster than Ethereum.
Okay. Cheaper and faster than Ethereum? Really?
Yep. But it's more centralized.
Okay.
So it's not as. So again, you're going out the risk curve and you're finding solutions for people who need it. So Solana, brilliantly, you put it against the chart of Ethereum 2017, it's a perfect match. I mean, it's like everything is a fractal in this space.
Proof of work versus proof of stake. What's the difference and why is ETH better?
I don't say they're better.
Yeah, you don't.
Proof of work of proof of work, Bitcoin is hard to do. You need these mining rigs, complicated maths, a lot of energy. It is the most robust, secure network in the world, which is Bitcoin, which is why it's amazing. Proof of stake is you've got tokens and you secure the network by promising it to the network and you get a yield. Keith, if you want to stay in ETH, you can generate yields now. So you've generated a long-term savings market in these things. So as you're seeing, a lot of the art market is now being priced in ETH. There's a ton of stuff on the internet being priced in ETH.
Yeah. So
you can hold ETH savings and have pretty much a risk-free return by staking. So staking allows it to be faster and kind of adds a bit of flexibility to it. And again, people don't want Bitcoin to be faster or more flexible. They just want it to be perfect as it is, which is incredibly secure, highly distributed network. But for Ethereum, I think it's a game changer because it means that at the end of the cycle, I'll probably keep just some ETH as ETH.
Yeah.
Because if I'm getting paid a 10, 15% yield on it, and I know that in due course, the cycle will pick up again. So over 2 years, 2 or 3 years, a bear market, bit of a sideways market, I've picked up another 30, 40%. So I thought, okay, so that's one side of Metcalfes Law. There's a bunch of people using it, holding it. What happens if somebody finds a use case for it? Along comes Mark Cuban and says, we're going to accept it at Dallas Maps games for merch. And then Elon starts saying, I'm really interested in this. It needs to be speeded up and cheapened a bit. But, you know, if I can encourage the community to go back and redevelop and help move it forwards, I'm interested. I think he'll end up using it in his cars for streaming payments, you know, as we go into smart cities or whatever format it is. So I actually took the punt to say, I think there might be use cases because I can see there's a strong community. Why would you not build a use case on Doge? Why would you not when millions and millions and millions of people own it? Of course you would. So, you know, that's me going out further on the risk curve saying not all my Metcalfes Law attributes are met, but I see a probability that we could meet them. And if that's right, then the price could go even further. All we're doing is assessing the probabilities. We may have a future potential end state in our heads, but I'm sorry, you and I don't dictate markets. It's irrelevant what we think. We're just creating a mental map to be able to follow what we're thinking. That's okay. And you can do it in a model, you can do it in a mental map, it just depends how you operate.
Right.
But the change in probabilities, you know, you talk about rate of change all the time, is the entire game. Mm-hmm. Now, if you get it right, you're basically saying, I see a potential future, I think the probability is higher than the market is pricing, and you capture that. Mm-hmm. That's the entire game.